Hi, Lisa here, and today we're going to make a St. Patrick's Day garland using the Martelli 4-leaf clover template set. The products that you're going to need to make the St. Patrick's Day garland are, of course, you're going to need the Martelli 4-leaf clover template set, and it comes in 3 different sizes. You're also going to need your rotary cutters. I've got a 45 and, of course, the Martelli 28mm rotary cutter. You're going to need some scissors, some marking tools. You're going to need fabric, and I think I used 3 fat quarters in 3 different colors. On mine, we've got the light and a medium and a dark. You're going to need some double fold bias tape, or you can make your own bias tape with your own fabric, but I thought to make it quick, we would have and use some prepackaged bias tape, and this is 9 feet long. So the whole garland is 9 feet long. And of course, you're going to need some coordinating thread and some pins. You're also going to need some either fusible fleece, or you can use double-sided fusible fleece. To make the garland that I have made, it's 9 feet long, and what I have done is I made, with the large template, I made 3 clovers. With the medium, I made 4, and with the smaller one, I only made 2. Now, to make your clover, you're going to take your piece of fabric and you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to fold it again. So you'll have a double fold. You're going to take your template. Now, on the template, there's registration marks. This is telling you that you need to place this corner, these 2 edges, on the fold. So you're going to take your template and you're going to place both of those right there on that double fold. You see where I got them? Right there. Then using your 28mm rotary cutter, you're just going to cut all the way around, starting on the fold on one side, going all the way around, and then coming off on the other. And it just takes a little bit of finagling because it's got a tight curve there. And you should, when you open it up, you're going to have your 4-leaf clover. Now you're going to need a little bit of extra, so take one of your extra pieces. You're going to lay your stem. This is the large stem. You're going to lay it on here, and then you're just going to cut it. So I'm going to make 3 of these, but you're actually going to be cutting out 6 because there's a front and a back. So you'll make 2 of these. For each one, you'll have 2 stems, and you'll have 2 of these clovers. Then you're also going to take that same size template, and whether you use the double-sided fusible fleece or the regular single-side fusible fleece, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to take your product, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do a double fold. Now, when you're using a product that's thick like this thick double fleece, you might not be able to cut with your rotary cutter. So I found that if you take a marking pencil or a pen and you trace all the way around, and then you'll have your piece for it. So you'll have to repeat that 3 times for the large, then you'll also make 4 of the medium and 2 of the small. You're going to be cutting them out of here. Now there's another way that you can use this fusible fleece. If you didn't want to cut through all those thickness layers, you can go ahead and take your cut piece and you can trace around it this way and just use your scissors to cut it out if you didn't feel comfortable doing the double fold. So you can do that with all of them that way. Now, it's because the double fleece, the double-sided fusible is just so much thicker. When you use the single side, it's not quite as thick. Then what you're going to do, you're going to take your pieces and you're going to sandwich them all together. So here, if you can see on this one, I pre-done. Here's my front. There is my double-sided fusible. And then I actually did a different color on the back side. So then you're going to take that to your iron and you're going to press them all down. So you'll have 3 of the large, 4 of the medium, like we have in our picture that you'll have posted down below, and then you'll have 2 of the smaller ones. The next step is where it takes the longest. This is actually a very easy project. It's just a little bit time consuming because you're going to take it to your sewing machine and you're going to do a very tight blanket stitch all the way around. Now, if you have a serger that can go around it, you could do that. I don't have a serger, so I'm just using my sewing machine, and I have a really tight blanket stitch or a satin stitch that's going all the way around on the zigzag. And we'll go to the sewing machine and we'll finish this one up so you can see how I do that. All right, so when you're at the point that you're going to start sewing your blanket stitch all the way around and you've got it all pressed together, you're going to take your stem and you're going to kind of lift up one section and you're going to just kind of place it under there, probably about a 1/2 inch. And then you're going to start there at that point and you're going to sew all the way around. Now, you want to get a really close stitch because then you start getting where the fabric is kind of bleeding through. Well, you can go back over that if your machine doesn't have any problem going back over the stitches, but then a Sharpie marker is your best friend. You can go in here and you can hide all that thread or all that little stuff that's sticking out with a little bit of a Sharpie marker. So I've done about 3/4 of this, so I'm just going to go ahead and start right here and finish going all the way around. And you're going to do this for every one of those clovers. Again, there's going to be 3 of the large ones, and there's going to be 4 of the medium and 2 of the smaller ones. Thread that coordinates with what you're working with. This green is pretty good for working with even the light and the dark because it pulls out the dark over here and it works really good on this side. If I was just doing just light on both sides, I probably would have had a lighter thread for on this side. And set at a 4 for my width, but I've got it at a 0.40 for my length, so I really want it to be pretty close. And then just let the machine do the work. You just follow along the edges here. And you have your needle going right against the edge as you're sewing. And I don't know if you can see that, but I have the needle, it drops down right on the outside of here. It drops down right here and then it comes back in. So this is what takes the longest. Just going all the way around and just using your hand to guide it. Let the feed dogs pull it through. Okay. So you see here I got a little bit where it's still coming through. So you have 2 options. You can try to trimming that, or you can take a marker and you can cover that over just to kind of make that shagginess. Unless you like that shaggy look, it's got a little bit of a roughness right here. But you need to repeat that with all of them. And once you get that done, then we're going to go ahead and work on the garland that you're going to be, or the binding strip that you're going to be using to hang all of these on. Our next step is going to be making the garland that our shamrocks are going to be hanging from. What I purchased is some double-sided biased tape. So it's double folded, I mean. So it has the double fold here, and it's got a little bit of a stretch to it, but that's not really matters. What I got was it's already done for me. Now this is an opportunity where you can take the time and do a decorative stitch on here. And on mine, you're going to see I did a decorative stitch all the way across the top. I kept the fold open. I wanted to keep that open there. So I went ahead and put my decorative stitch on first. Now if you're going to be making your own bias, you're just going to cut yourself like a 2.5 or 3 inch strip and you're going to do the exact same thing. And if you want to put a decorative stitch, go ahead and do it across the top, but you're going to need to have this opened a little bit so that you'll be able to put your shamrock in. So what I did was, after I had my decorative stitch on there, and this is 9 feet long, so I went ahead and I marked where my half was because I put my largest clover in the middle. So with that fold, that was still left open a little bit, I just kind of tucked it in there, right there on the very edge, and I pinned them in place. So I marked it from the half and then worked my way out so that I had it even going all the way across. And then I pinned them down, and then I just took them to my sewing machine, and I just did a quick little tack right here at the very top. Now you could have it on that top side if you wanted. If you wanted, you could create a loop. If you want to just hang them from a loop, or if you wanted, you could just even have it going right across the middle. It's up to you. I even thought about just hanging them from the stem. I thought that would be a really unique way to showcase them. So that's all you got to do is once you get your clover tacked in, then you're all set. You're all ready. Thank you so much for joining us for the St. Patrick's Day garland set that we made today. But check us out. Martelli has more templates. We also have a pot of gold, and we have our top hat. So check us out at martellinotions.com. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.